I made a comparison before about the similar teams Northeastern has played this year that are like Fresno State. Army, Penn State, and Holy Cross. Disciplined teams that are patient offensively and play hard-nosed basketball. Each of those teams, the Huskies beat by 2 points. And right here, we have a tie game, 13 seconds to go in regulation. Another thing is, will they be willing to drive to the hoop? They could draw a foul, they could draw an offensive foul and lose the basketball. But the referees rarely make calls at this stage of a ball game. Huskies will inbound left sideline. Eric Jefferson along with Chip Rucker, Roland Braswell, Pete Harrison, Perry Moss. Moss has it now with 10 seconds deep left sideline. He's got it. Mason on him. He backs in. Top of the circle. 6 seconds. Moss in the lane. Underneath the to Rucker gets away, lays it in.
All right.
4 seconds. And a timeout by Fresno State. Northeastern leads 55-53. They worked it inside. Oh, what a play that was. Moss came in. He drew 2 people. Rucker was all alone underneath the basket, and he laid it in. We have 4 seconds to go. Northeastern leads by 2, 55-53. So they worked the ball for almost 4 minutes, and now they have the lead. The question, of course, now, how will the Huskies play this defensively? The Huskies are 4 seconds away from holding on to win their first game. We, of course, have seen in the past Northeastern come up with shots like this against Holy Cross. With 4 seconds to go, they were down by 2. They got a shot from midcourt. Right here, Fresno State has to go 90 feet to the floor. Husky coach Jim Calhoun going over the defense. Defense is supposed to be Fresno State's thing, but the Huskies came up with a big play right there. Moss was in traffic, and they drove. They took their chance. They had to gamble. Perry drew a crowd, and he found Rucker inside for a wide-open layup. And Northeastern looking to hang on. They're 4 seconds away from a win.
Steve, when they came back from the Vermont victory to play Holy Cross, I was very impressed with the Northeastern defense. Calhoun had worked on it in practice, and I think that's what we're going to see right now.
The Huskies are laying everybody back. So this will give Fresno State half court. This will give them half court, and they'll get over the line. 4 seconds to go. They will inbound. And here we go. Mason will inbound. I'm sure Higgins will be the man they look for. He's got the ball. Baseball pass now goes to Verhoeven. 3 seconds. Verhoeven with the basketball. Jump pass on the right side. The shot at the buzzer is off the rim. No good. The story continues. The story continues here in Texas. Northeastern has won the first game of the NCAA playoffs, their first appearance ever. They have defeated Fresno State 55-53. The Huskies have won. Peter, I'll tell you what, why don't you run out there and see if you can get somebody for an interview, and we will try to get some of the victorious Northeastern team. The Huskies have pulled it off again. Every type of team they have played, a sound defensive, disciplined team, they have beaten by 2 points. Tonight was not an exception. The Huskies have won, ladies and gentlemen. They said Fresno State was too much for Northeastern. But ladies and gentlemen, Northeastern can play with anybody in this entire nation. They have won tonight. The shot by Higgins fell short off the rim and no good. A 25-foot desperation shot. And Northeastern right now a very jubilant group. They have won the game 55-53, down by as many as 8. The Huskies have done it. The Huskies are now 24-5. Paul Potter, if you're listening, I wish you were here, buddy. This was a good one. You would have loved it all the way. The Huskies played the Fresno State game for the last shot. With 4 minutes to go, they had the ball. They held on for the very last shot. They lost the ball temporarily as they were forced to have a jump ball, which Perry Moss won. The final play, the Huskies inbounded with 13 seconds to go. Moss drove the lane. He found Chip Rucker open underneath with 4 seconds to go. Rucker made the shot, and it is not Chip Rucker's last game. Chip, a senior, ensures that the Huskies will have at least another day to fight, another day to survive. Northeastern right now just continues to prove themselves. They beat Holy Cross to get here. They beat Fresno State. And I'll tell you what, Eric Jefferson is going to be sitting here with me. And Eric is going to put the headset on. We've got Eric. First of all, buddy,
Thanks a lot.
congratulations. Your first NCAA game ever in playoff history. You've got to win. Eric, they said you couldn't do it, but you have. And how do you feel right now?
Great. I'm lost for words right through here, but it's a great feeling. We'll be staying here till Monday, and we're going to beat Utah on Sunday.
We've got Utah. Eric, the magic number is 5. I think it is really feasible. I said before this game something weird is going to happen to this team, and you get the feeling that it is beginning to hold true. Now, you remember in the beginning of the season, you guys were having trouble against the Charlottes and the Texas Arlington. I think at this point, you guys have shown that you can play with anybody.
Yeah.
And there has to be a big difference now between the first half of the season and the second half.
Oh, yes, definitely. First of all, we knew we could play with teams like Charlotte and Temple and Penn State, and, we went out to kind of hesitate. But now that we know we can play with them, we're just as good. This is a different ball game now. We have a different attitude. We approach the game differently now. We know that it's ours if we want it bad enough, and we want it.
You gave a taste of Fresno's own medicine at the end. With 4 minutes to go, you held on for the last shot. Was that the plan all the way through, to hold on for the very last shot?
No, it wasn't. It's just happened. The game has happened to go like that, and fortunately we end up holding, getting a good shot off, and we won.
The play at the end, you went inside, Chip was wide open inside, and that had to be just an incredible feeling to see him put that in.
Yes, everybody was, Perry Moss was, everybody looking for Perry Moss to do another heroic shot, but, we have a team game, and he knows Perry's a good player, and he knew that everybody would be on him, so he just dumped it off at Chip, and Chip had the easy layup.
What was the defensive strategy with 4 seconds to go? Now, of course, what are the odds of somebody hitting a shot from mid-court or something at the buzzer to get back in? But what was the exact defensive play? You gave them half court, so they had the shot coming over the line.
Yeah.
But what exactly did Coach Jim Calhoun stress on that?
Well, we wanted Perry to kind of put some pressure on the ball, trying to, there was 4 seconds left, so Perry tried to put some pressure on the ball to eat some of the time up. Therefore, if they're going to make a shot, hopefully it would be like 30 or 40 feet, from the basket. That's what happened.
I'll tell you something, Northeastern again down the stretch. Teams that you have played of this nature, Army and Penn State, Holy Cross, good disciplined defensive teams. You're beaten by 2 points. Here, Fresno State, the same thing. And they talk about how well they play defensively.
Yeah.
Got to give you guys credit tonight. You guys put a sound defensive effort. You never gave up, down by 8 points, and you came out smoking in the second half. Eric, congratulations. We have lived to fight another day, and we're on to Utah. What do you think about that one?
Well, we're going to give it our best shot, and I'm sure it will be a good game, and hopefully we'll pull it out Sunday.
Eric, again, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you a lot, Steve.
Oh, it's just really amazing how this thing continues on. Northeastern has won again. Nobody thought they could do it. A lot of people said, who's Northeastern? Why are they here? Well, there's a reason. Because they have won their first NCAA game ever. And you talk about the defensive work of Fresno State. Offensively, they scored 17 points in the second half. So that also has to give Northeastern a lot of credit defensively. In the first half, Northeastern was actually down 36-28 until Eric Jefferson shot with 2 seconds to go at the end of the first half, cut it to 6 at halftime, 36-30. The Huskies immediately jumped out. They took the lead at 41-40, and they got back in the ball game. It went back and forth. The Huskies worked for the last shot with 4 minutes to go. Eric Jefferson said it did not really, the plans at first initially were not to do that. It just kind of worked that way. But Northeastern really seemed like they were just going to take as long as they could, and they worked it into Chip Rucker with 4 seconds to go for the layup, and Northeastern outscored Fresno State 25-17. In the second half, this building is now empty, totally empty, but over in that locker room, over on the Northeastern side, you can imagine there's a lot of noise. It's just amazing. Their first NCAA playoff game, a team that has never gone to the NITs, they skip right over that. Here they are on the NCAAs, and this could be the surprise of the year. And right now, everybody's going to go out and celebrate, do some partying. We're going to do it here in Texas. Keep the faith over in Boston, folks, because the Huskies story has continued. And they've earned it. There is simply no 2 ways to put it, Northeastern. No other way to put it. They have gotten it tonight. They have proven they are for real. And Al McGuire said earlier that this Northeastern team really does not deserve to be here. Many have said that. But now they once again have shut up the critics. Fresno State, a shocked team, a bewildered team. They did not know that much about Northeastern. And again, you run down their mystique. In a 2-game span, they gave up just 56 points. Now here tonight, they gave up 55 in that one game. And so that, for Northeastern, that is an accomplishment. This is the #1 defensive team in the nation, as they had given up just 50 points a ball game. They had averaged giving up 50.6. They had scored 66, so they were the #4 team in the nation in scoring margin. And Northeastern again hung tough. They were not at all in awe of that situation. Pete Harris was the spark plug in the first half with 12 points, and Perry Moss did the job in the second. He hit a couple of big shots, and it was his play at the end. They knew that Moss was the hero man, the buzzer beater. They centered around him. Moss drove the lane, a great strategy employed by Coach Jim Calhoun. He was double-teamed in the lane, and Chip Rucker wide open inside. And I'll tell you, you can see the concentration. There was no way Chip was going to make any mess about that. He was just going to take it straight in, no dunk, no chance for maybe the ball popping back out. He took his time and put it straight in, and that's why the Huskies have advanced to the second round of the NCAAs. Dave Lato, a field goal for 2. Chip Rucker, 2 field goals, 4 points, but that last field goal was the biggest one of his life, putting it in with 4 seconds to go for the win. Perry Moss, 6 for 9 shooting, as he really revved up. Perry was 1 for 4 in the first half, and then he was 5 for 5 in the second. He was perfect. He had 5 free throws, 17. Pete Harris was the story again. 7 field goals, along with 6 free throws, 20 points. Roland Braswell, a field goal for 2. He was in early foul trouble. Mark Halsell, a first-half spark plug, 2 field goals for 4. Eric Jefferson, 3 field goals for 6 points. The rebounds, this is funny, Northeastern was out-rebounded by 2, 18-16. Well, in a game that is so slow-paced, you're just not going to get that many rebounds. You take a look, Northeastern took 37 shots, Fresno State 36. That combines there for 73. That's the amount Northeastern might take in a game. And both teams 11 of 16 from the floor, and the difference, that one extra field goal by Northeastern down the very end. The star of the game, the MVP, Pete Harris.
Maybe Lee Montville's prediction will be true. We'll
That's right. Lee Montville of the Boston Globe predicted Northeastern would win the national championship. He said they'd win this game 11-10. He was not that far off. It's a low-scoring game, 55-53. That is the lowest margin for Northeastern offensively, the second lowest for them defensively. Maine they held to 50 earlier in the season, and it doesn't make a difference if they win this game 2-1, 100-5, whatever it is. A win is a win. Thanks tonight to Diana King and Olden Wagner for engineering tonight's ball game. And Northeastern has won now their 24th game of the year. They advance on their best record ever in Northeastern basketball history, Division I, Division II, whatever it was. 24-5 now. Fresno goes down to just their 4th defeat of the season. They finish out 25-4. So that does it. This is Steve Berkowitz saying so long for Peter Jordan from the Special Events Center in El Paso, Texas. The final score for the last time: Northeastern 55, Fresno State 53.